Going live. I'm live. Welcome. Hello, hello, hello. So, I have a couple interesting stories. One came from a friend on Facebook who lives out in, I don't know if he lives in Washington or he lives out that way. Um, because if you look on your screen here, I obviously made like a moving image, but that image was taken just the other day. Um, well, let me show you. I'll just play this video for you. Check this out. Okay, that was welcome everyone. Anthony Dickinson says, "What is that, Joe?" Well, that was. Uh, well, let's do this. Let's go over to my desktop so I can show you what that was. Let's see. This is space.com said the widely reported bright objects in the sky were the debris from a Falcon 9 rocket second stage that did not successfully have a deorbit burn. The National Weather Service Seattle tweeted, rather, experts agree that this event was almost certainly created by a falling human-made debris. So, my thoughts on it are prepare for more because we're going to more frequently be seeing this kind of thing. Um, so that was over like the Seattle area or um, yeah, out in Washington there. I don't know exactly where it was, but um, we could look and see. Basically, 22 days ago there was a launch, or 23 days ago now, I guess. There was a Falcon 9 launch, and typically the second stage, which basically is not recovered. Actually, let me show you what the second stage is. Let's go to Spacex. Look at the Falcon 9. I just want to show you what the second stage is so you know what we're talking about. Because I have a story of my own here that I want to share that's quite interesting. So this is the Falcon 9 rocket. It's the one that lands, the one that makes fire come down from the sky. Yeah, that's significant. So this is what it looks like. You have down here from the very bottom to the top of this black part, that would be like the lift rocket, the booster that lands, and then this white part up here is the second stage. And so we'll look at, there's the first stage and here's the second stage. So this is what burned up over Seattle the other day. I think that was not last night, but the night before last night. So there's that. So last night, or I should say this morning, I guess, at about 1:45 or 1:40, I was actually working on my computer here, and all of a sudden I heard an explosion, quite loud. I think it kind of even felt like maybe a little bit of a thud, you know. And my first thought was, what just blew up? But went out and looked outside, didn't see anything. It was quiet and everything, and I said, that sounded like a sonic boom. Well, then I thought, hey, I'm in a Facebook group in my community called Oak Grove, Minnesota Community Page. So I went there, and this is what I saw right away. Seriously, was that an explosion just now? So I said, good, it wasn't something that I just heard. And plus, my brother was here, and he heard it too. And we were like, wow, that was loud. So, reading some of these comments, yep, not sure where. Same here, just shook us awake. I heard it too, scared the crap out of me. It sounded like it came from there. I heard it too. So these people are all over the place too. I mean, it's not like that. It's not like it's one little teeny neighborhood. It's quite an area that it covers here that people are giving their. I mean, there's 201st, there's 224th. That's like quite a few miles from each other. I definitely heard it here too. Woke us up. I thought I was going crazy. Yeah, you can hear the wildlife on the lake freaking out. Shook the windows. I'm off Sims by the refuge. I heard it too. Windows rattled. It was nearby. This happened once last summer. Sounded like an explosion at 2 o'clock in the morning and everyone heard it. Even woke some people up. It turned out to be a meteorite or a meteor. Near Lake George, it shook. Actually, let's see. Oh, Joe Dirt. That must be a meteorite. I guess I don't know the joke, but near Lake George, it shook the house. Maybe it was a meteorite. Okay. Police are driving down Round Lake with lights, but no sirens. Someone probably called it in, most likely checking the area. Get a ring or camera notification at that time? If so, please check to see if it lit up the sky. Good night, all. That's actually a good comment because that's where we're going here. And someone wrote, sorry, I just used the bathroom. That's pretty good. We heard it in St. Francis. And then I wrote, sonic boom, I heard it. Heard it off a okay, very loud, vibrated everything. Haven't seen or heard anything since. So it starts getting interesting when people go to their security cameras. Someone says UFO flyby. My little brother said, "What's exploding outside?" When I went around two something bangs outside of my window twice. Went outside and there was nothing but a light smell of propane outside in the air. Okay. Did sound like an explosion. So here we got our first camera, and we can hear it in the camera. This is interesting, guys, because when a meteor comes in, it's really high in the sky. It's like, well, it's probably like 60 miles away up in the sky, like 60 miles or 50, probably 60 miles. So we could do some math, and we could figure out how fast the sound would be able to get down here. It would take a little while for the sound to get down here. So check this out. Here is Judy. She had audio from it. So let's listen to that. So I don't know if you guys can hear that very well. So there was that one. And wow, that was loud. Where do you live? Okay, we didn't hear anything. So then someone said, "Here's what I captured on Gladiola." That's actually my street where I live. Let's listen to it. It sounds exactly the same. But there's more. Judy was, let's see. So they were trying to figure out the time that it was that it went. And it was 1:39. Someone else heard it. Yeah, it was loud. Then Judy said, "I just backed up my nest and the sky lit up about 1:43." So about 3 minutes or 4 minutes later, which seems to me to be the opposite way. So I don't know. But look at her video here of same video or same camera, but you can see the sky lighting up. And we didn't have the kind of weather where there would be any lightning or anything like that. Looks like lightning. Okay, then Judy said, "We caught the meteor that came through a few years ago on the nest, and it was the same type of flash." So she shared that video. Whoops. Judy's just got some good information. So that was from 2018, December 20th. So I wrote her, "Sounded like a sonic boom from a meteor. I expect to see this more often because of what they're doing in space." That's amazing to me. I'm betting you're right. So then I shared what I always share, guys. It's all in the Bible, actually. There's a dragon flying up and down from there, Spacex dragon. The powers of the heavens will be shaken. And then I gave her a link to this video. So if you're watching, Judy, thank you for sharing your videos. So let's look at just some more comments just to see. Okay, my time may be off. I think it is about 1:35 or so, but I watch on my system it says 1:40. I don't know what to expect here. 2 minutes. I'm just seeing if there's... You know what, I should probably just let it play. Lots of people heard it. Sounds like a sonic boom. Amy Sunderland. So anyway, there was a meteor last night right in my area, and my thoughts on it are to get used to this, because it's going to be happening more and more and more and more and more and more, to the point where, what did I put in the description of this video? I think I probably stated it pretty clearly there. Let's see. Expect to see more and more things falling from the sky as time goes on. SpaceX is your good buddy now, but you will hate them when you see what they're doing to you. And that's my thoughts on it. They're launching Starlink satellites up there. Oops, I guess I can't go into the chat. I lost my chat. I saw Karen and Preston wrote Starlink Gone Wild. So they've just launched close to 1,500 satellites, Starlink satellites, since May of 2019. And I fully expect all those to come back down in 1 hour. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go read Revelation chapter 18, which actually, why don't we do that right now? Since I love that book and I love to read. Which is so funny because when I was young, I hated reading. I couldn't stand it. I hated books. And now, it's like I get all my information from books. Actually, I want to go to Bible Hub. Oops. Have you guys heard of a place called Babylon the Great? Well, just picture this. Babylon, well, let's go back one chapter. I got to show you something. The last verse here. So, Babylon, John sees Babylon as a harlot and the abomination of the earth. Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And then it says, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. So just imagine, or just picture space being that city. And let's read Revelation 18. And after these things, and after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven. Let's make very clear that heaven's in the sky, because heaven's in the sky. And I saw, after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. You know what we got to do? We have to look at verse 2 in the Greek, just to get a better idea of what this is saying. It's talking about a prison. Babylon is a prison. Hey, tell me what you love. Good to see you. And Beulah, and Walsworth, Shauna, Anthony, Davey313. You guys just caught my attention with the chat, finally. Good to see all you guys. Let's see. Justin DeVoe. I'm sorry, Justine. I do that all the time. Justine DeVoe. My bad. I'm scrolling up to the top. Marlo. Good to see you. And, of course, Doc Michael the Legend came in first. There's someone else I missed. It is, there's only one Father. Welcome. Did I get everyone? Yazchild, good to see you. Oh, and FA3IAN 3LIAS. Good to see you. Thanks for having such a difficult name. All right, going back down. Eric H, welcome. Awesome to see you guys. Look at this, what it says here. We're dealing with a prison. That place they call space is not just some empty universe. It's a place, it's the abode of the damned. It is outer darkness. And we've been raised in a world that believes it's a solar system. So I'd be very careful believing in this solar system idea. I don't believe it at all. I don't see a solar system. I see the sun and the moon going over the earth. Every day we see it. I saw the moon last night up in the sky going over, which we might get into a little conversation about the motion of the moon and its apparent wagon wheeling, or whatever you want to call it, cartwheeling, as it goes over the sky at night. Because a lot of people are misunderstanding what's happening when they're looking up at the moon. Like, say, from the southern hemisphere, they think that the moon's upside down from the northern hemisphere. Well, the moon's just in the same spot. It's actually you that is faced the opposite direction if you're in the south from someone in the north. So, but that's another subject. But look at this. She has become a habitation of demons and a prison of every spirit unclean, and a prison of every bird unclean, and a prison of every creature unclean, and having been hated. So that is Babylon the Great is a prison, guys. Trying to go, waiting for this page here, I think. Maybe not. Okay. Back to Revelation. Okay, so it's a habitation or a prison of devils. Verse 3, for all nations have drunk the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. I want to show you something on the screen, and it's just a thought that I had, or have, I guess. I gotta go grab a video of something. And I actually have a few videos I want to play when I'm done kind of explaining what I'm seeing here. Fornication. I think we all know what that is. So John, who wrote this, is talking about seeing the kings of the earth committing fornication with Babylon. So how would that make any sense if Babylon was the sky? Like if Babylon was space or whatever. How would that make any sense? Well, I'm going to show you just something that I think could be very possible. And it's very simple, but very direct at the same time. Let me play this. I'll read that verse again. For all nations have drunk the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Hey, let's do a little Google search really quick. They're waxed rich, huh? Whoops. World's richest man. Oh, Elon Musk. He's the guy that makes all this stuff. The Falcon 9 booster or the second stage that did a light show over Seattle the other night. Yeah, that's Elon Musk making that stuff. He's waxing rich for sure through the abundance of her delicacies. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So there you go. Let's go back to Revelation 18. Okay. Verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. There's plagues coming, and I think that if people open their eyes and understand the reason that this is all going to be happening is because men have been going to a place that they're not supposed to go, and it's going to, I mean, if you look at the whole Bible describes some of this stuff. Back in Ezekiel chapter 7, God's saying the end is coming, and he's going to recompense all the abominations that we put in New Jerusalem back on our heads. To me, that just says satellites. He's going to throw them right back down. And it's going to be a great plague of hail, which is also in this book of Revelation. Look at this, verse 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven. They've reached heaven. And God hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much she hath glorified herself, and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall all her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. And the kings of the earth, who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, shall bewail her and lament for her when they see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. Can you guys see what I'm seeing happening here? This is going to start happening more frequently, that things are going to be falling out of the sky. And the idea that men can go live in the sky, that's not going to be an idea for very long. We've been deceived. We've inherited lies. We've grown up in a generation that believes a false thing, and we've been born into professing ourselves to be wise, but we're all fools, and our knowledge is a joke to the Lord. So, I forgot what verse I was on. Okay, I think it was verse 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all fine wood, and all manner vessels of ivory, and all manner vessels of precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and the souls of men. That's the one that makes me concerned. The souls of men. This deception is after your soul. This Babylon the Great. That's after the souls of men. That's part of her merchandise. So be very careful. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee. Like going to Mars and starting a civilization there. That's what the richest man in the world says he's going to do, by the way. That's kind of like lifting a shout up against God, if you ask me. I'm going to create a better world for us since the earth isn't good enough. And then he's going to claim to go where God is. Go sit in the temple of God, showing himself he's God. That's what he's doing right now. And you know, I probably shouldn't comment on this, but I just saw a post on Facebook that is discouraging to me. There's some, I don't know what it is, Nike or whatever, some new kind of shoe that came out, and it's like satanic or whatever. And people are putting verses from Revelation 13 in there, and the dragon, whatever, because of some shoes. Guys, it's so much more real than that. I'm not going to go there. All right, and the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which are dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these things, which were made rich by her, shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster, think about this part, guys. Because, let me remind you, I have to play a short clip here. I have to remind you what the sky is. there's waters above. Waters. So if this was considering the waters above, just listen to this. And every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea. What would those be? Ships in the sea. Think about it. Think about it. What kind of ships are they talking about? Is John writing about here? By reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour is she made desolate. So all those satellites and all those Starlink satellites and all those, space junk and whatever you want to, whatever's up there, whatever men have put up there, has defiled an incorruptible place. And for in 1 hour is she made desolate. Nothing will be there. And I'm not going to go to Ezekiel 7, but God says about 5 times in one chapter, he's going to show no pity, and he's going to recompense them on our heads. And they'll be in the midst of us, and not in his temple. Go read it, Ezekiel 7 and 8. Ezekiel went up there. He was taken up there by his hair. The Spirit lifted him up there by his hair, and God showed him all these abominations and detestable things. And one of the things that he showed him was that he said there was 25 men up there that he saw that were outside the temple. They were like in the entry to the temple, and they were facing the other way. They were facing the east and worshiping the sun from God's temple. Not a good idea, guys. Okay. Now, this is the day that I think a lot of people are waiting for, and this last part is why. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God hath avenged you on her. And to be honest, I myself am waiting for this day because I've been talking about this and been ridiculed by my family, by my friends, by everyone that I've talked to, because I have to say what I have to say, but because I understand something, I see something in a certain way. And so I'm waiting for that day, so that all the people that want to sit and tell me I'm an idiot, maybe they'll have to think twice about that. So when there's, it's not about me being right or wrong. It's about me being a watchman. And if I don't say everything that I understand, it's on me. And that's what I'm trying to make sure that it's not on me. I want you to understand the way I understand it. Or at least one of my friends, Adam from Parable of the Vineyard, he disagrees. We disagree on some things. And we were texting back and forth like earlier, or I guess it was earlier this week, and I pointed something out about the dragon or whatever, and he said I don't agree with that, and I realized right then I texted him back. I said, I don't think it matters if we agree at all, as long as you're aware of it, which you are. So that's really why I think it's important is Adam doesn't believe in any of that stuff. So I think he's good. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm just giving warning that things are going to be physically real. And it's things that we haven't understood as people before. We haven't seen these things before. And it's going to be coming as a surprise to people when it gets real, like a meteor or whatever it was coming in last night, making a big sonic boom, waking people up in the middle of the night. That's just one little thing that popped through. There's so much stuff up there that will be... Let me show you something. back to another quick video clip. I do have some good videos to play though. Okay, let's see. Oops, that's a little too far. Okay, should be right. Whoops, right about here. Sound like when something breaks through the firmament. This is a meteor. Whoops. That's a meteor from 2013 in Russia. So now that's a meteor, and let's see if I have it here. I want to compare that sound with something else that men make. The richest man in the world, the one I mentioned. I'm just fast forwarding through this because I got to show you something. This is a video I have on my channel. I think it's called "So Hot Right Now" or something. If you're interested. So let's see here. There's a sound that sounds just like that men can make. Sorry, I didn't think it was going to take me this long to fast forward through it. But I'm just going to keep going this way. Okay, actually I'll just hit play. Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong, and as a molten looking glass? Since December of 2015, there's been a machine that men have built that appears to do the same thing as a meteor does. The sound comes after, like this.
Yeah, there they are. Coming in like meteors, real fast. They're going to do a final burn here in just a moment. There's final burn 1 and 2. 2 candles coming down.
Fire coming down from the sky.
There they are. Double sonic booms.
Okay. So, do you see what's going on there? Supersonic things being slowed down by the atmosphere. That's what they do. They make sounds like that. And most things that are up there do not have a heat shield, which would be like protection against the heat and pressure that's created when you try to slow down in the atmosphere. Which again, like I've been kind of campaigning about the sky, it moves, it turns. What is this? You have not detected copyright, YouTube. Get out of here. So let's go back to Revelation. Or is that what you guys are seeing? Sorry, I'm confused here. Okay, good. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God hath avenged you on her. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea. Now, remember which sea we're talking about. Saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. And the voice of harpers and musicians and of pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee. And no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found in any more in thee. And the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. And the light of a candle. Oh, wow. I can't believe that just said that. Because I have one of my next videos. You don't have copy. Your stream may be temporarily blocked. Am I showing anything copyrighted? No, I'm not. Whatever, that's YouTube. Uh, and the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great, look at this, for thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. And in her was found the blood of the prophets and of the saints and of all that were slain upon the earth. Do you guys remember that Satan accuses us day and night? Let's go to Revelation 12 because it talks about that. The accuser of the brethren is cast down. I'll show you a video of that. Where is that? Let's see. Right here in verse 10. I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. This is everyone that is accused day and night. And it's because we were born into a time when we thought that there was a solar system, and it's not true. So all I can say is run away from that. So, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan. Let me show you a video of that. He was cast out into the earth. The one that deceived the whole world, remember? Let's just listen to this Spacex announcer.
In case if you're just joining us, you can see on your screen there, Dragon has just re-entered the Earth's atmosphere after departing from the International Space Station.
Dragon has just re-entered the Earth's atmosphere after leaving the space station, or whatever she just said. Well, verse 9, the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth. It's on your screen, guys. Satan's not going to be a little red-skinned devil guy. It's something real.
In case if you're just joining us, you can see on your screen there, Dragon has just re-entered the Earth's atmosphere after departing from the International Space Station.
So it says it was departing from the International Space Station. The Dragon was. Why was it there? Well, because it gives it has a resupply service mission contract with NASA. So they send Dragon capsules up there with cargo to resupply the space station. Well, look at this. I'm going to leave this part off the front of the verse because that's actually, if you look into it, that's actually part of chapter 12. It's the last part in chapter 12. But John said he saw a beast rise up out of the sea. That's the same beast that comes up out of the bottomless pit. So let's just read this. I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. Look at this. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority. Oh, yeah, I thought you guys were on desktop. Sorry about that. Let me show you something else here. Yeah, I'm excited for, the time we're in. Which video, Anthony? Oh, I guess I'd have to know which video it is. I'm not just gonna take my chances, but if you describe which video it is, maybe I will. Because I do see the link there, but I just don't know what it is. The 59-second one. So let's see here. Where was I going there? Oh, and it also says, they worship the beast. No, that's not where I'm looking. Oh yeah, they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. So that's, to me, that's just SpaceX Dragon, and the beast should be obvious. What does SpaceX Dragon resupply? It's hey, let's do this. I have some videos to play. Let's see. Sorry, I'm looking for something that I'm not finding. I'll look one more place, and if it's not here, I guess I don't know where it is. Oh yeah, here's another one. Here's another one. Did you guys know? You guys will like this. Have you heard of Neuralink? You know that guy I was talking about, the richest guy in the world? Elon Musk. Well, he also wants to put a chip in your brain, and he was talking to Joe Rogan about it. So I made a little joke here. So, yeah, he wants to put a chip in your brain. They're building these. You know what's interesting? A friend of mine, which a lot of you guys know, David Beverly Sr., Jesus Freak Computer Geek. He makes a good point when he says that, like, AI, the idea of, like, AI, that's not technology. It's evil spirits. We look at it as technology because we're born into this generation and we're born into this time. But if we really look at what's happening, it is demons. It's the embodied spirits or disembodied spirits. They don't have bodies, but it's spirits of the giants, the Nephilim, the offspring of the fallen angels that came down in Genesis 6. Things like AI are not quite what we understand them to be, I think. But Elon Musk already put his Neuralink brain chips into a herd of swine. Think about that once. Jesus cast out a bunch of unclean spirits into a herd of swine. Something's going on here. So, in Revelation 9, verse 11, it says that they had a king over them who was the angel of the bottomless pit, and his name was Abaddon or Apollyon, like Apollo. Check this out.
We could resume the dream of Apollo. The goal of SpaceX really was to make as much progress as possible to advance rocket technology to the point where hopefully we can establish a colony on Mars. Dream of Apollo.
And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon.
Apollo.
Apollyon.
Apollo.
Apollyon.
And we could resume the dream of Apollo.
The angel of the bottomless pit.
Apollo.
So I hope you guys are catching what I'm throwing. I have a couple other videos. Do you guys remember the space shuttle? And there was the Challenger that blew up, and then there was also, I don't remember exactly which one it was. It's on the tip of my tongue. That burned up on re-entry. Well, listen to President George Bush that day. Listen to what he says about where men go and where men's hearts are drawn to go.
The cause in which they died will continue. Mankind is led into the darkness beyond our world. Mankind is led into the darkness beyond our world by the inspiration of discovery and the longing to understand. Our journey into space will go on. In the skies today, we saw destruction and tragedy. Yet farther than we can see, there is comfort and hope. In the words of the prophet Isaiah, lift your eyes and look to the heavens. Who created all these? He who brings out the starry hosts one by one and calls them each by name. Because of his great power and mighty strength, not one of them is missing. The same Creator who names the stars also knows the names of the 7 souls we mourn today.
And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do.
The crew of the shuttle Columbia did not return safely to Earth, yet we can pray that all are safely home. May God bless the grieving families, and may God continue to bless America. Mankind is led into the darkness beyond our world. Darkness, darkness, darkness.
The weird part about it is space is so incredibly black, so incredibly dark. It's a bottomless pit of deep black, almost so deep it almost has a texture when you look at it.
For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment, darkness, darkness,
darkness, darkness,
darkness,
darkness. Mankind is led into the darkness beyond our world.
Black, so incredibly dark.
So I hope you guys are kind of understanding where I'm coming from. There is a place of darkness in the Bible, and it's called hell. And there's also, like the prophet Isaiah, who George Bush was just talking about, he also said that hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. I think that Jesus is coming. And all those evil spirits in that darkness want to deceive mankind into not seeing Jesus. But I'll tell you what, every eye will see him. Let's look at this short video.
Closely following the recovery of the Discoverer capsule at Cape Canaveral, another historic satellite is ready for launching. In this nose cone is packed the 100-foot balloon of Echo 1 to be carried into orbit by a Thor-able Delta rocket. It's only the second firing of this three-stage missile, but the 92-foot rocket performs flawlessly. This launching, closely followed by successful tests of Atlas and Polaris rockets, was a landmark in America's spectacular two-day display of progress in space research.
This is the satellite, a huge empty balloon, here shown while still in its hangar. The inflated balloon is 10 stories high, made of a strong, new aluminized plastic. Strong, yet only half as thick as the cellophane around a package of cigarettes. Strong, yet only half as thick as the cellophane around a package of cigarettes. Its aluminum coating gives it nearly 100% reflectivity. That balloon will soon be hurtling across the sky 1,000 miles high over North America. It will be bounced off a man-made satellite. If it works, it will be the first time voice has traveled from the Earth up to a man-made moon and back to Earth again.
This is President Eisenhower speaking. It is a great personal satisfaction to participate in this first experiment in communication.
President Eisenhower's voice was picked up loud and clear, making Echo a success.
Because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds, and four-footed beasts, and creeping things. They became fools. They became fools. They became fools.
It's our privilege today to
changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds, and four-footed beasts, and creeping things. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
I will ascend into heaven. I will ascend into heaven. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit.
Why do the heathen rage, and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, Let us break their bands asunder, and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. I will declare the decree. The Lord hath said unto me, Thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Jesus which is taken up from you into heaven shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them throughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth. And from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth.
And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, Art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit.
And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon.
When we could resume the dream of Apollo. The goal of SpaceX really was to make as much progress as possible, to advance rocket technology to the point where hopefully we can establish a colony on Mars. Dream of Apollo.
And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon.
Apollo.
Apollyon.
Apollo.
Apollyon.
And we could resume the dream of Apollo.
The angel of the bottomless pit.
Apollo.
Earth's atmosphere at 25,000 miles per hour, the friction of air slows Orion considerably, while also subjecting it to temperatures of 5,000 degrees. With the Orion now at just 300 miles per
So guys, all this stuff, people looking up to the sky, into that darkness, thinking there's something there for them. I look up and I see something else, or I know I'm gonna, and I already do. Check this out. Look for this instead.
And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory. Jesus saith unto him, Thou hast said. Nevertheless, I say unto you, hereafter shall ye see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God. And the dead in Christ shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Lord. Wherefore, comfort one another with these words. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, Amen.
All right, guys, that's it. That's all I got for today. Yeah, look up, but make sure you're looking up for the right thing. Definitely things happening in the sky. The powers of heaven are being shaken. And remember, we don't struggle against flesh and blood. We struggle against powers and principalities and the rulers of the darkness of this world. Spiritual wickedness in high places in the heavenly realm. So keep that in mind. Love you guys. Have a great Saturday, and we'll talk to you next time.